incorporated meditation. So take the deepest breath of the day through your nose, hold it for 10 seconds, close your eyes. Okay, this is called twins. Mind, mind is the forerunner of all actions. All deeds are led by mind, created by mind. If one speaks or acts with a corrupt mind, suffering follows, as the wheel follows the hoof of an ox pulling a cart. Mind is the forerunner of all actions. All deeds are led by mind, created by mind. If one speaks or acts with a serene mind, happiness follows, as surely as one's shadow. He abused me, mistreated me, defeated me, robbed me. Harboring such thoughts keeps hatred alive. He abused me, mistreated me, defeated me, robbed me. Releasing such thoughts banishes hatred for all time. This one deals with Clown House. It says, animosity does not eradicate animosity. Only by loving kindness is animosity dissolved. This law is ancient and eternal. There are those who are aware that they are always facing death. Knowing this, they put aside all quarrels. The one who lives for sensation, indulgent in eating, lazy and lacking in energy, the tempter Mara breaks, just as the wind breaks a frail tree. The one who lives mindfully, senses under control, moderating in eating, devout, energetic, cannot be overthrown by Mara, just as the wind cannot shake a rocky mountain. The monk's robe does not in itself render one free from stain. If the one who wears the robe is lacking in self-control and honesty, he is unworthy of such a robe. Only one who is free from stain, well-disciplined, honest, and endowed with self-control is worthy of the monk's robe. Those who fail to distinguish the non-essential from the essential and the essential from the non-essential will, in feeding on wrong thoughts, fail to attain the essential. On the other hand, those who correctly perceive the essential as essential and the non-essential as non-essential will, in feeding on right thoughts, attain the essential. As rain pours through badly thatched houses, so does desire penetrate the undeveloped mind. As rain fails to pour through a well-thatched house, so does desire fail to penetrate the well-developed mind. For the doer of evil there is only grief, here as well as hereafter. In both states he experiences grief, seeing his own unwholesome acts. For the doer of good deeds there is rejoicing, here as well as hereafter. Joy and more joy are his, and he sees his own right action. The doer of evil reaps suffering here and hereafter, in both states remembering I have committed evil. Not only here, but hereafter he experiences more suffering, because he has gone to a state of suffering. The doer of good deeds reaps happiness here and hereafter, in both states remembering I have done good deeds, and there is more joy, because he has gone to a blissful state. A careless person, quoting much of the scriptural text but not living it, cannot share the abundance of the holy life, just as the cowherd, counting other people's cattle, cannot taste the milk or ghee. Reciting a small portion of the scriptures, but putting it diligently into practice, letting go of passion, aggression, and confusion, revering the truth with a clear mind, and not clinging to anything here or hereafter, brings the harvest of the holy life. Ding! Okay, let's see what Evie Toll sent us. Bill Burr ruthlessly roasts Maher for his bullshit takes on Palestine and Israel and states that he supports the student protesters.
John, what do you think about the student protesters?
I have no opinion on them. I could care less about them.
Do you feel like they should be productive rather than protesting?
It's not just them, it's everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, this is called mindfulness. This is what the student protesters do not have. Mindfulness is the path to immortality. Negligence is the path to death. The vigilant never die, whereas the negligent are the living dead. With this understanding, the wise, having developed a high degree of mindfulness, rejoice in mindfulness, delighting in the domain of the noble ones. These awakened ones, dedicated to meditation, striving actively and vigorously, attain nirvana, the ultimate security. The fame and fortune of the man who is vigorous, aware, unsullied, acting with consideration and restraint, become ever growing. The wise man, by vigor, mindfulness, restraint, and self-control, creates for himself an island which no flood can submerge. The foolish, the unwise, surrender themselves to negligence, whereas the wise man protects mindfulness as his most valuable possession. Don't lose yourself in negligence. Don't lose yourself in sensuality. For it is the mindful and meditative man who will experience supreme happiness. When the enlightened man frees himself from careless behavior through mindfulness, free of sorrow, he gazes on the sorrowing masses, as one of the mountaintop gazes on the plain below. The mindful person among the mindless, the aware person among the unaware, surpasses the rest with his wisdom, like a superb racehorse outstripping an old worn-out horse. By mindfulness did the Bhagavat, Lord of the two realms, reach the position of authority among the gods. So vigilance is ever praised, and negligence ever disdained. A seeker, concentrating on mindfulness, advances like a fire, consuming the chains of bondage, both great and small. A monk or lay person rejoicing in mindfulness, seeing the danger of negligence, cannot fall backwards and is close to nirvana. Subnotes. Magavat, according to the belief of ancient Indians, Magavat was the king of a certain heavenly realm. He was born into that realm and became its overlord as a result of good deeds he had performed in his immediate previous life as a man on earth. During that time, he fulfilled all his duties toward others mindfully. Seeker. Originally, the term here was bhikkhu, or monk. When the Buddha was speaking to his hearers, the bhikkhus were always sitting near him. This is why in his general talks he addressed monks. One meaning of bhikkhu is one who discerns the fears of the round of rebirths. Mind. Just as an arrowsmith shapes an arrow to perfection with fire, so does the wise man shape his mind, which is fickle, unsteady, vulnerable, and erratic. Like a fish taken from the safety of its watery home and cast upon the dry land, so does this mind flutter due to the lure of the tempter. Therefore one should leave the dominion of Mara. How good it is to rein the mind, which is unruly, capricious, rushing wherever it pleases on Clown House. The mind so harnessed will bring one happiness. A wise man should pay attention to his mind, which is very difficult to perceive. It is extremely subtle and wanders wherever it pleases. The mind, well guarded and controlled, will bring him happiness. One who keeps a rein on the wandering mind, which strays far and wide, alone, bodiless, will be freed from the tyranny of the tempter. A man of fickle mind will never attain wisdom to its fullest, since he is ignorant of the Dhamma, It has wavering faith. The heart of the fully conscious man is fearless. He has freed his mind of lust and anger. He has transcended both good and evil. Observe this body, as fragile as an earthen vase. Build a mind as solid as a fortified city. Then confront Mara with the weapon of insight, and proceeding without attachment, guard what you have already conquered. Certainly before long this body will lie on the ground, lifeless and unconscious, cast aside like a useless log. A mind out of control will do more harm than two angry men engaged in combat. A well-directed mind creates more well-being than the wholesome actions of parents toward their children. Flowers. Who can truly see this earth, this body, this world of human beings, as well as the realm of gods? Who is able to distill the wisdom of the Dhamma, as skillfully as a designer of garlands selects choice flowers? Saka, a trainee on the first stage of perfection, is able to grasp this earth, the human world, the dwellings of the unhappy ones, as well as the realm of the god. It can bring forth the shining truth of the Dhamma, even as the skillful gardener selects choice flowers. See this body, as fragile and transient as foam. Know that it is insubstantial as foam, and thereby destroy the tempter's flowery arrows, and put yourself beyond death's grasp. Just as a raging flood sweeps away a sleeping village, so does death claim a man of distracted mind, and he continually seeks more and more of life's fleeting pleasures. Death drowns the unsatisfied man whose restless mind clutches for greater and greater pleasures. A monk should dwell and act in the village like a bee extracting honey from the flower, but leaving the color and fragrance intact. Pay no attention to harsh words uttered by others. Do not be concerned with what others have or have not done. Observe your own actions and inactions. Like a beautiful, brightly colored flower without fragrance is the well-spoken word without action. Like a beautiful, brightly colored flower full of fragrance is the well-spoken word, and the deed that matches the word. A man born to this world should do many good deeds, as a garland maker makes garlands from a heap of flowers. The scent of flowers is carried no farther than the wind allows. Neither the sandalwood, tega, nor jasmine, but the fragrance of the deeds of good men spreads to the ends of the earth in all directions, regardless of the wind. The aroma of sandalwood, tega, lotus, or vasiki is excellent. Superior to these is the fragrance of right action, right speech, and right way of earning one's living. The scent of tega and sandalwood may be barely detectable, whereas the fragrance of the virtuous reaches the highest levels both among gods and men. Mara, the tempter, can never find where the enlightened ones are, for they live mindfully and in perfect freedom through perfect knowledge. Just as a sweet-smelling lotus blooms beside the highway upon a heap of filth, so does the disciple of the perfect Buddha rise above those bound blindly to the limitations of the clown world. Subnote Seka literally means trainee, but it also refers to the person who entered the state of the stream winner's level, where he experiences for the first time the full vision of nirvana. From that stage onwards until he attains arhatship, perfection, he is called Seka, one who is still on the path to perfection. Okay, this is called the Fool. Long is the night to the sleepless. Long is the road to the weary traveler. Long is the cycle of rebirths to the unwise who do not know the truth. Should a traveler fail to find a comparison, equal or better rather than suffer the company of a fool. He should resolutely walk alone. I have children, I have wealth. These are the empty claims of an unwise man. If he cannot call himself his own, how can he then claim children and wealth as his own? To the extent that a fool knows his foolishness, he may be deemed wise. A fool who considers himself wise is indeed a fool. A fool may associate with a wise man throughout his life, and remain untouched by his wisdom, even as a spoon cannot taste the flavor of soup. On the other hand, an aware man in a moment's meeting can learn from a wise man, even as the tongue tastes the flavor of soup. The unwise man, lacking understanding, behaves as if he were his own worst enemy, committing evil deeds that produce bitter fruit. It is unwise to do things that bring regret and require repentance. To cause suffering for oneself and a weeping and tearful face, it is wise to do things which do not require repentance, but bring joy and fulfillment, happiness and delight. Until he feels the effect, the fool rejoices in his evil deed when the action reaches fruition. The fool harvests nothing but grief. Though the fool may practice asceticism, eating a speck of food on the tip of a blade of grass, he is not worth 1/16 of the Arahant, the knower of the Dhamma. An evil deed does not produce its results at once. It smolders slowly, like a fire covered by ashes, and finally consumes its doer, the fool. The things a fool gains amount to nothing. Unwholesome acts cannot bring him wholesome results. What a fool hungers for is false fame, authority, power over others, and generous offerings. He seeks recognition as a doer, a wielder of power, a knower of right and wrong. His craving and pride are insatiable. There is a path that leads to worldly gain. Another road leads to nirvana. Let the seeker, the disciple of Buddha, embracing seclusion, take the path to the wisdom and enlightenment. Okay, that's the first 5 chapters of the Dhammapada.
You know who needs to listen to this?
Who?
Ariota.
It's true. It's true.
He needs some humbleness.
You're true. It's true.
You can tell he's not in the state of Zen.
Exactly.
And he's not in the state of nirvana. Like, you can see he's a little erratic. And, like, it's sad. It's sad. You even recognized it in the room earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I pray that he gets well. You know.
Well, I pray for myself first. I'll pray for him last. Okay, I'm gonna go to the kitchen here. I'm at a hotel. I'm gonna go get some more coffee. I'll be back in just a minute, and we will read the Tao Te Ching, and then we will briefly read the Declaration of Independence. All right, be right back. Okay, you guys can all chat with each other. I got 3 clown house rooms going. Derek, if you want to come up and say anything, you're listening to Douglas, and Daryl is a chat bot. A wise man, dedicated.
Is Daryl a real person?
Hello.
Daryl never talked.
Yeah, I don't think I need any housekeeping today.
You know it?
No, tomorrow maybe.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And we're back with more live, exciting wisdom information to help increase your IQ, EQ, and make you fully self-actualized.
Hey, John, is Daryl a real person?
Yeah. He's just some guy who doesn't want to chat. He doesn't want to talk because he finds. I think he likes my content, and then I see him in other rooms and whatnot, but I've never heard him speak. Maybe I have, I can't remember. I'm sure it's not a black guy. I'm sure his PTR is not indicative of that he looks like a black Atlantean.
I mean, that's what most people know. They put a PTR that doesn't really even remotely. Yep. It's just for fun, But I just didn't know if it was like
it's probably you, Douglas. You have many accounts.
No. I do, but that's definitely not. Like I would have been exposed by now. That was like a non.
I like what Bane says in the movie Batman. He goes, "It's not important who we are. What's important is our plan."
That's true. That is very true.
Okay, we're going to jump into a different book. This is Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. Invite people to the room. This is hypnosiscommunication.com. This is the Tao of Lao Tzu, or the Book of Changes. Okay, I gotta find out where this barbecue's at. Hold on a second. There's also barbecue the day before down by the river, which will be fun. 3 to 7. Good morning. Good morning, cousin bride. What's the address of the river? Welcome, Douglas. My boss just texted me, and she said stop texting her. Instead, text her boss. But I'm on leave today, so anyways, Monday. Basically, she's telling me to stop texting her, but I'll just keep texting her and I'll CC Adam. I'm the biggest shitbag in the world, but it doesn't matter. I'm like pretty much done working. Like I'm ready to retire and just live in a box and read books. I'm moving into the black cube. I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I mean, that's not true. I do want to live on this planet. I just don't want to have to keep dealing with people who want me to work all the time and waste your time with ignorance.
That's why, hey, hire, put Ariana on your payroll.
Put him on my payroll. Give him a penny a day.
Yeah, put him on your.
That's all he's worth is a penny a day. I go outside and find his entire fucking annual salary in three minutes.
I mean, a penny. I mean, the doctor posted. I think you're being kind of generous with a penny. A penny a day for 20 years.
That would be $3.65 times 20 or $60. What's your adjusted annual gross income? 365 cents or $3.65.
That's what she should have asked him in the room earlier off the chill with payroll. Penny a day. Hypnosis for a penny a day. You can see Ariana. Please donate now.
Benjamin Netanyahu says, I am not prepared to replace Hamastan with Fatistan.
Pakistan. Wow.
Islamistan.
Would you move there?
To the Gaza?
Would you move to Islam? Yeah.
I've been there. It's beautiful.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. It's like one of the nicest places on the planet. Great weather, beautiful scenery, beaches. I mean, can you ask for anything more? It's right in the fucking... It's in the Crescent. I mean, it's the best place in the world. It's just everybody around it sucks.
Yeah. I would like to... Would you get a condo out there? You think that? There wasn't so much conflict and shit.
I don't know. It'd be nicer to have a nice house in the countryside. I've been there. I mean, I've been in beautiful houses. It's paradise, but it's not like all the modern conveniences, you know. There's no Walmart in the middle of the Jordanian mountains, you know.
Right.
Okay, this is Lao Tzu Hypnosis Tao book. Maybe I should text my manager and say I scheduled annual leave. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I shouldn't even text her. Yeah, don't even say anything. That's what I've realized is just like don't respond. Like the maxim of Napoleon is I only communicate when I command. Otherwise I remain silent.
What, like in office politics type stuff? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to do it. It's kind of like what should we call it? It's a little bit of an art of war type thing, you know. Kind of keep that face. You say too much, it can be used against you.
Yeah. The thing is, we have to put in our timesheets, and I'm not even putting in my time anymore. I'm just texting the managers and telling them my time, so they have to do it manually. And if they don't do it manually, then I won't get paid. And they may refuse to do it. So it's like it's going to cause a problem, but I'm going to end up suing my employer and my manager for sexual harassment and toxic workplace environment. Yeah, and we'll see how that plays out.
Were you were you forced to like strip down or something?
No, she said to me, she says, I thought you was a man whore.
Really?
Yeah, she's a big old black woman. I drove her fat ass around to all her offices, and we had lunch, and she said, I thought you was a man whore. And I started laughing. I was like, oh bitch. I was like, I'm gonna put this in a memo.
No, you know she wanted you to pound her.
No, what she wanted to do was gaslight me, and she didn't do it. But that's because I learned my lesson. I don't get gaslit. I just put it in fucking memos now, and I just send it up. I just raise the flagpole with the humiliating information of people's conduct, behavior, and what they say. They've never read the Dhammapad. I've given my managers the book of Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching, and they've never read it. I've even written nice notes in there. I gave it to the, anyways, it doesn't make a difference. People have eyes and ears, but they don't read, they don't listen. They respond to the environment. That's all they do. That's how they live their lives. They don't go within. They just look outside. They're looking for themselves everywhere else except where they are.
Other than the inside.
It's the side of the inn.
How did you determine that your boss at the time was Latin? Like what kind of like you didn't think it, she was just saying that just to like you know what I mean?
No, she's trying, because I filed a sexual harassment claim against this other black woman I worked with who was telling me to book a hotel room with her, to go in the hot tub with her, and all kinds of other shit. And so I wrote her ass up, and that caused a major problem at work. And ever since then, and she got promoted uh, 2 times over, and I've gotten no promotion, and it's all because of the fact that I filed this complaint, and she was rewarded instead of being punished or chastised, because it's reverse discrimination. I mean, if I were to say, are you a whore to a black woman, or if I was to say, hey baby, let's book a hotel room together and we'll get in a hot tub, like, my conduct would be unprofessional. And so why is their conduct professional? Why do they get grace? Because they're black women. I mean, they have to be careful what they say. They have to think before they speak, and they can't sexually harass a white guy based on, his gender and his race.
It's not just black women, but I think women in general. I've heard some like stuff.
Yeah. It's true. Women in the workplace are very, very vulgar and very toxic, and they don't get called on it because we are educated and conditioned on white male, toxic masculinity, and so women get total passes for bad behavior because they're women. And I'm the one asshole cocksucker who will stand up against it all and just write memos and say nothing and gaslight everybody, and they don't even know that I'm gaslighting them. So that's the beautiful thing.
It's not, yeah, and it's not just white males, all males. Like I'm not white, I'm black, but like the fact is like we can't conduct this as women, even though obviously I know where you're going, like the DEI conditions. That, I mean, it's all men really. You can't really go like and just own a workplace like that. But man, my company, like, yeah, I've heard some crazy stuff from women too. I'm like, damn, if I were to say something like that, people would be like, damn, he's a sexual predator. I don't know. It's interesting. I was just asking to see how you handle stuff like that. It's really good. Thankfully, I have a really good manager. I haven't really had to deal with any gaslighting and things like that.
Well, I caused the initial gaslight, so I am my own worst enemy. I have to blame myself, but at the same time, I really, respect, transparency, and genuosity, or genuineness, or authenticity, and really the whole thing about transparent communication is Clown House allows you to say what you feel and feel what you say, but in the workplace there's no real transparency, and it's all political and it's all superficial, and no one cares about anything. It's fucking beautiful. It's kind of beautiful in a way that, like, we can protest by just putting on our away message and say I'm sick, I'm not working, and that means somebody else has got to do all the work and all the communication. It's fucking beautiful.
I think that's why a lot of people are so-called quiet quitting. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people, irrespective of like gender or race, like people are just like that. They get in this corporate rat race, gaslighting, the backstabbing. It's interesting you said that you can protest in the form of an away message, because like when I'm irritated, I just set my Slack. I just go offline on my Slack,
Mm-hmm.
and I just put my snooze. So maybe like just hearing what you do in terms of like your away messages. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah, people are probably like, hey, he just went away. People probably kind of know, like, hey, he's probably irritated and he knows what's going on.
Yeah. It's,
very sure.
since all communication is hypnosis, your work laptop is actually the greatest hypnotic gravity in your life, and it's to your detriment. It's not to your benefit. In fact, the only job I want in the future is on a cell phone. I do not want a work laptop ever again in my life.
Why? Because it's trying.
Because all communication is hypnosis, and that work laptop is such a high density communication hypnosis device that it ruins your life. And in fact, real work happens in the real world. Your cell phone can bring you into the real world, but your laptop is like a ball and chain, Think about how many useless email exchanges you go through on a monthly basis that could be settled, with a quick message on Teams or a quick phone call. And I'm just saying that your cell phone is your work laptop, but a lot of the bullshit work we have to do is because the developers can't create an interface that you can do on your cell phone. And we're doing such hyper complicated, overabundantly unnecessary work and unnecessary communication that the laptop is the problem. And the people that are using the laptop are the problem. But if we were to just use our cell phone and be free and move around with the cell phone, which is a smaller computer, life would be much simpler, and we would probably get more things done. The problem is we're working in a communication industry, a hypnosis industry, and people are unaware that what we're really doing for work is communication, but we're not really doing any work. So it's stupid. It's stupid work. It's work with no real purpose other than to do the work. Like I said to the boss one time, I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Why don't we just get somebody over there to do this?" And he goes, "Well, what do you think your job is? What do you think your job is? This is your job. You're supposed to do it." I said, "Well, what's the point of spending $1,000 to fly out there and go to a hotel when we could just call somebody and have it taken care of right now?" He goes, "Well, why do you have a job?" I was like, "So I could call that fucking guy and get it done for nothing. Why would we waste the money?" He goes, "Because that's your job." I'm like, "Okay, I get it. Enough said." But like, that's the thing is, nobody works together. Nobody really wants to work together. Nobody wants, anyways, I think you get my point.
Yeah, well received. I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying I want to change my life, and I'm not going to keep this job because the job won't change, and I want to keep my life. The money at this point is important, but being free is more important than the money, because I know the money is just an art collection. And a lot of people die with millions of dollars in the bank. which is so stupid. Why would you want to die? You know, you're born penniless, you should die penniless. And I hate banks a lot. I really hate banks now. And I hate lawyers and I hate judges. Well, I don't hate. I understand. Okay, this is called Dao De Jing. I'm just going to read two of them, and then I'm going to take a quick break, take the Cosby kids to the beach, and then I will continue reading. So this is Dao De Jing, translated by Jia Fu Feng and Jane English, with a new introduction and notes by Jacob Needleman. Take the deepest breath of the day through your nose. Hold it for 10, not 11, 10, not 9 seconds.
Sorry, I'm at work right now, actually.
Okay, this is chapter 1. The Tao that can be told.
Doctor Hypnosis. There was something good that I gotta get to work right now. I just got to the desk. Checking my emails, but play something mindful. I need something to pick me up today.
Well, just look at yourself. You weigh 400 pounds and you have metavision goggles on. You're not living in the real world, Douglas. I don't think they know they're vampires. I just think, a vampire who is devampirized. I think everybody's a vampire, so we just have to dehypnotize the vampires. Don't forget the baby wipe. What was that? Douglas, you are so funny, bro. Your fucking profile is so non-distinct. Douglas Jones II, an Ohio tanker. Okay, this is Lao Tzu. The Tao that cannot be told, the Tao that can be told, is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. The named is the mother of 10,000 things. Ever desireless, one can see the mystery. Ever desiring, one sees the manifestations. These two spring from the same source but differ in name. This appears as darkness, darkness within darkness, the gate to all mystery. Under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty, only because there is ugliness. All can know good as good only because there is evil. Therefore, having and not having arise together. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short contrast each other. High and low rest upon each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Front and back follow one another. Therefore, the sage goes about doing nothing, teaching no talking. The 10,000 things rise and fall without cease, creating, yet not possessing, working, yet not taking credit. Work is done, then forgotten, therefore it lasts forever. Not exalting the gifted prevents quarreling. Not exalting the gifted prevents quarreling. Not collecting treasures prevents stealing. Not seeing desirable things prevents confusion of the heart. The wise, therefore, rule by emptying hearts and stuffing bellies, by weakening ambitions and strengthening bones. If men lack knowledge and desire, then clever people will not try to interfere. If nothing is done, then all will be well. The Tao is an empty vessel. It is used but never filled. O unfathomable source of 10,000 things. Blunt the sharpness, untangle the knot, soften the glare, merge with dust. O hidden deep but ever present, I do not know from whence it comes. It is the forefather of the gods. Heaven and earth are impartial. They see the 10,000 things as straw dogs. The wise are impartial. They see the people as straw dogs. The space between heaven and earth is like a bellows. The shape changes, but not the form. The more it moves, the more it yields. More words count less. Hold fast to the center. The valley spirit never dies. It is the woman, primal mother. Her gateway is the root of heaven and earth. It is like a veil barely seen. Use it. It will never fail. Heaven and earth last forever. Why do heaven and earth last forever? They are unborn, so ever living. The sage stays behind. Thus he is ahead. He is detached, thus at one with all. Through selfish action he attains fulfillment. The highest good is like water. Water gives life to the 10,000 things and does not strive. It flows in places men reject, and so is like the Tao. In dwelling, be close to the land. In meditation, go deep, deep in the heart. In dealing with others, be gentle and be kind. In speech, be true. In ruling, be just. In daily life, be competent. In action, be aware of the time and the season. No fight, no blame. Better stop short than fill to the brim. Over-sharpen the blade, and the edge will soon blunt. Amass a store of gold and jade, and no one can protect it. Claim wealth and titles, and disaster will follow. Retire when the work is done. This is the way of heaven. Carrying body and soul and embracing the one, can you avoid separation? Attending fully and becoming supple, can you be as a newborn babe? Washing and cleansing the primal vision, can you be without stain? Loving all men and ruling the country, can you be without cleverness? Opening and closing the gates of heaven, can you play the role of woman? Understanding and being open to all things, are you able to do nothing? Giving birth and nourishing, bearing yet not possessing, working yet not taking credit, leading yet not dominating. This is the primal virtue. 30 spokes share the wheel's hub. It is the center hole that makes it useful. Shape clay into a vessel. It is the space within that makes it useful. Cut doors and windows for a room. It is the holes which make it useful. Therefore, benefit comes from what is there, usefulness from what is not there. The 5 colors blind the eye. The 5 tones deafen the ear. The 5 flavors dull the taste. Racing and hunting madden the mind. Precious things lead one astray. Therefore, the sage is guided by what he feels and not by what he sees. He lets go of that and chooses this. Accept disgrace willingly. Accept misfortune as the human condition. What do you mean by accept disgrace willingly? Accept being unimportant. Do not be concerned with loss or gain. This is called accepting disgrace willingly. What do you mean by accept misfortune as the human condition? Misfortune comes from having a body. Without a body, how could there be misfortune? Surrender yourself humbly. Then you can be trusted to care for all things. Love the world as your own self. Then you can truly care for all things. Look, it cannot be seen. It is beyond form. Listen, it cannot be heard. It is beyond sound. Grasp, it cannot be held. It is intangible. These 3 are indefinable. Therefore they are joined in one. From above it is not bright. From below it is not dark. An unbroken thread beyond description. It returns to nothingness. The form of the formless. The image of the imageless. It is called indefinable and beyond imagination. Stand before it and there is no beginning. Follow it and there is no end. Stay with the ancient Tao. Move with the present. Knowing the ancient beginning is the essence of Tao. The ancient masters were subtle, mysterious, profound, responsive. The depth of the knowledge is unfathomable. Because it is unfathomable, all we can do is describe the appearance. Watchful, like men crossing a winter stream. Alert, like men aware of danger. Courteous, like visiting guests. Yielding, like ice about to melt. Simple, like uncarved blocks of wood, hollow like caves, opaque like muddy pools. Who can wait quietly while the mud settles? Who can remain still until the moment of action? Observers of the Tao do not seek fulfillment. Not seeking fulfillment, they are not swayed by desire for change. Empty yourself of everything. Let the mind become still. The 10,000 things rise and fall while the self watches their return. They grow and flourish and then return to the source. Returning to the source is stillness, which is the way of nature. The way of nature is unchanging. Knowing constancy is insight. Not knowing constancy leads to disaster. Knowing constancy, the mind is open. With an open mind, you will be open-hearted. Being open-hearted, you will act royally. Being royal, you will attain the divine. Being divine, you will be at one with the Tao. Being at one with the Tao is eternal. And though the body dies, the Tao will never pass away. The very highest is barely known. Then comes that which people know and love, then that which is feared, then that which is despised. Who does not trust enough will not be trusted. When actions are performed without unnecessary speech, people say, "We did it!" When the great Tao is forgotten, kindness and morality arise. When wisdom and intelligence are born, the great pretense begins. When there is no peace within the family, filial piety and devotion arise. When the country is confused and in chaos, loyal ministers appear. Give up sainthood, renounce wisdom, and it will be 100 times better for everyone. Give up kindness, renounce morality, and men will rediscover filial piety and love. Give up ingenuity, renounce profit, and the bandits and thieves will disappear. These three are outward forms alone. They are not sufficient in themselves. It is more important to see the simplicity, to realize one's true nature, to cast off selfishness and temper desire. Give up learning, put an end to your troubles. Is there a difference between yes and no? Is there a difference between good and evil? Must I fear what others fear? What nonsense. Other people are contented, enjoying the sacrificial feast of the ox. In spring some go to the park and climb the terrace, but I alone am drifting, not knowing where I am. Like a newborn babe before it learns to smile, I am alone without a place to go. Others have more than they need, but I alone have nothing. I am a fool. Oh yes, I am confused. Others are clear and bright, but I alone am dim and weak. Others are sharp and clever, but I alone am dull and stupid. Oh, I drift like the waves of the sea without direction, like the restless wind. Everyone else is busy, but I alone am aimless and depressed. I am different. I am nourished by the Great Mother. The greatest virtue is to follow Tao, and Tao alone. The Tao is elusive and intangible. Oh, it is intangible and elusive, and yet within his image. Oh, it is elusive and intangible, and yet within is form. Oh, it is dim and dark, and yet within is essence. This essence is very real, and therein lies faith. From the very beginning until now, its name has never been forgotten. Thus I perceive the creation. How do I know the ways of creation? Because of this. Yield and overcome. Bend and be straight. Empty and be full. Wear out and be new. Have little and gain. Have much and be confused. Therefore the wise embrace the one and set an example to all, not putting on a display, they shine forth, not justifying themselves, they are distinguished, not boasting, they receive recognition, not bragging, they never falter, they do not quarrel, so no one quarrels with them. Therefore the ancients say, yield and overcome. Is that an empty saying? Be really whole, and all things will come to you. 23. To talk little is natural. High winds do not last all morning. Heavy rain does not last all day. Why is this? Heaven and earth. If heaven and earth cannot make things eternal, how is it possible for man? He who follows the Tao is at one with the Tao. He who is virtuous experiences virtue. He who loses the way is lost. When you are at one with the Tao welcomes you. When you are at one with virtue, the virtue is always there. when you are at one with loss, the loss is experienced willingly. He who does not trust enough will not be trusted. He who stands on tiptoe is not steady. He who strides cannot maintain the pace. He who makes a show is not enlightened. He who is self-righteous is not respected. He who boasts achieves nothing. He who brags will not endure. According to followers of the Tao, these are extra food and unnecessary luggage. They do not bring happiness. Therefore, followers of the Tao avoid them. Something mysteriously formed born before heaven and earth, in the silence and the void, standing alone and unchanging, ever present and in motion. Perhaps it is the mother of 10,000 things. I do not know its name. Call it Tao. For lack of a better word, I call it great. Being great, it flows far away. Having gone far, it returns. Therefore, Tao is great, heaven is great, earth is great. The king is also great. These are the four great powers of the universe, and the king is one of them. Man follows the earth follows heaven, heaven follows the Tao follows what is natural. The heavy is the root of the light, the still is the master of unrest. Therefore the sage, traveling all day, does not lose sight of his baggage. Though there are beautiful things to be seen, he remains unattached and calm. Why should the Lord of 10,000 chariots act lightly in public? To be light is to lose one's root. To be restless is to lose one's control. A good walker leaves no tracks. A good speaker makes no slips. A good reckoner needs no tally. A good doer needs no lock. Yet no one can open it. Good binding requires no knots. Yet no one can loosen it. Therefore the sage takes care of all men and abandons no one. He takes care of all things and abandons nothing. This is called following the light. What is a good man? A teacher of a bad man. What is a bad man? A good man's charge. If the teacher is not respected, and the student not cared for, confusion will arise, however clever one is. This is the crux of mystery. Know the strength of man, but keep a woman's care. Be the stream of the universe, being the stream of the universe, ever true and unswerving, become as a little child once more. Know the white, but keep the black. Be an example to the world, being an example to the world, ever true and unwavering. Return to the infinite. Know honor, yet keep humility. Be the valley of the universe. Being the valley of the universe, ever true and resourceful, return to the state of the uncarved block. When the block is carved, it becomes useful. When the sage uses it, he becomes the ruler. Thus a great tailor cuts little. Do you think you can take over the universe and improve it? I do not believe it can be done. The universe is sacred. You cannot improve it. If you try to change it, you will ruin it. If you try to hold it, you will lose it. So sometimes things are ahead and sometimes they are behind. Sometimes breathing is hard. Sometimes it comes easily. Sometimes there is strength and sometimes weakness. Sometimes one is up and sometimes down. Therefore the sage avoids extremes, excesses, and complacency. Whenever you advise a ruler in the way of Tao, counsel him not to use force to conquer the universe, for this would only cause resistance. Thorn bushes spring up wherever the army has passed. Lean years follow in the wake of a great war. Just do what needs to be done. Never take advantage of power. Achieve results, but never glory in them. Achieve results, but never boast. Achieve results, but never be proud. Achieve results, because this is the natural way. Achieve results, but not through violence. Force is followed by loss of strength. This is not the way of Tao. That which goes against the Tao comes to an early end. Good weapons are instruments of fear. All creatures hate them. Therefore, followers of Tao never use them. The wise man prefers the left. The man of war prefers the right. Weapons are instruments of fear. They are not a wise man's tools. He uses them only when he has no choice. Peace and quiet are dear to his heart, and victory no cause for rejoicing. If you rejoice in victory, then you delight in killing. If you delight in killing, you cannot fulfill yourself. On happy occasions, precedence is given to the left, on sad occasions to the right. In the army, the general stands on the left, the commander-in-chief on the right. This means that war is conducted like a funeral. When many people are being killed, they should be mourned in heartfelt sorrow. That is why a victory must be observed like a funeral. The Tao is forever undefined. Small though it is in the unformed state, it cannot be grasped. If kings and lords could harness it, the 10,000 things would naturally obey. Heaven and earth would come together, and gentle rain fall. Men would need no more instruction, and all things would take their course. Once the whole is divided, the part needs names. There are already enough names. One must know when to stop. Knowing when to stop averts trouble. Tao in the world is like a river flowing home to the sea. Knowing others is wisdom. Knowing the self is enlightenment. Mastering others requires force. Mastering the self needs strength. He who knows he has enough is rich. Perseverance is a sign of willpower. He who stays where he is endures. To die, but not to perish, is to be eternally present. Okay, we're halfway done with Tao Te Ching. We're on page 36. You see, it's a very quick read. And it's like super powerful, profound wisdom. The Tao is the Logos. And so now I will contrast the Tao with the book of St. John. No, I didn't write it. I did not write it, but I like it. Okay, this is St. John. This is the gospel, according to St. John. And it reads just like the Tao. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in...
I just gotta say, welcome, Chris. Welcome, Big Chris.
We got all the heavy hitters in Clown House here with us right now.
These are the heavy hitters. We got top dogs, top shotters.
Shot callers. We got the top shot callers.
Top callers. Yo, Chris, you should have been here earlier. Hypnosis. Look here, Yoda at this place. It's scary. It's a good way to start my morning. No coffee. That's really what
Okay, so this is the gospel. We now have death with us, the Grim Reaper herself. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the Word was made flesh, and dwelt among us. And we beheld his glory, and the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bare witness of him, and cried, saying, This was he of whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of his fullness have all we received, in grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Jesus Christ. No man hath seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. And this is the record of John, when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, Who art thou? And he confessed, and denied not, but confessed, I am not the Christ. And they asked him, What then art thou, Elijah, Elias? And he saith, I am not. Art thou that prophet? And he answered, No. Then said they unto him, Who art thou? That we may give an answer to them that sent us. What sayest thou of thyself? He said, I am the voice of one crying in the Clown House wilderness. Make straight the way of the Lord, as said the prophet Esaias. And they which were sent were of the Pharisees. And they asked him and said unto him, Why baptizest thou then, if thou be not the Christ, nor Elias, neither that prophet? John answered them, saying, I baptize with water, but there standeth one among you, whom ye know not. He it is, who coming after me is preferred before me, whose shoes latchet I am not worthy to unloose. These things were done in Bethabara, beyond Jordan, where John was baptizing. The next day John seeth Jesus coming unto him, and saith, Behold the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sin of the world. This is he of whom I said, After me cometh a man which is preferred before me, for he was before me. And I knew him not, but that he should be made manifest to Israel. Therefore am I come baptizing with water. And John bare record, saying, I saw the Spirit descending from heaven like a dove, and it abode upon him. And I knew him not, but he that sent me to baptize with water, the same said unto me, Upon whom thou shalt see the Spirit descending and remaining on him, the same is he which baptizeth with the Holy Ghost. And I saw and bare record that this is the Son of God. Again the next day after John stood, and two of his disciples, and looking upon Jesus as he walked, he said, Behold the Lamb of God. And the two disciples heard him speak, and they followed Jesus. Then Jesus turned and saw them following, and saith unto them, What seek ye? They said unto him, Rabbi, which is to say, being interpreted, Master, where dwellest thou? He saith unto them, Come and see. They came and saw where he dwelt, and abode with him that day, for it was about the 10th hour. 10, not 11, 10, not 9. One of the two which heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He first findeth his own brother Simon, and saith unto him, We have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted the Christ. And he brought him to Jesus, and when Jesus beheld him, he said, Thou art Simon the son of Jonah. Thou shalt be called Cephas, which is by interpretation, a stone. The day following, Jesus would go forth into Galilee, and findeth Philip, and saith unto him, Follow me. Now Philip was of Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter, Philip findeth Nathanael, and saith unto him, We have found him, of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph. And Nathanael said unto him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip saith unto him, Come and see. Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him, and saith of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile. Nathanael saith unto him, Whence knowest thou me? Jesus answered and said unto him, Before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee. Nathanael answered and saith unto him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of God, thou art the King of Israel. Jesus answered and said unto him, Because I said unto thee, I saw thee under the fig tree, believest thou? Thou shalt see greater things than these. And he saith unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto you, hereafter ye shall see heaven open, and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. So there's all kinds of mystical, Kabbalistic references in here. It is all Hermetic mysticism. Again, the very last sentence says, Ye shall see the heavens open and the angels of God ascending and descending, which is above and below, below and above. The fig tree is also a reference to the tree of life. And then additionally, there's the reference to 10, where they came and dwelt with Jesus at, 10 o'clock? I can't remember. Anyways, it's all the same thing. See what I'm saying? The Chinese and the Yahweh, it's all the same ancient mystery school. So it's a little different in the sense that it's not so Kabbalistic with the Chinese, but it's all God. So anyways, that's Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, as well as the Gospel according to St. John. If we were to read the Apocalypse or Proverbs, let me see here. Do we have Revelation? Yeah, we got Revelation. I'll just quickly read to you the Revelation of St. John the Divine, or the Revelator. This is chapter 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass, and he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John, who bare record of the word of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ, and of all things that he saw. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. John to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace be unto you, and peace from him which is, and which was, and which is to come, and from the 7 spirits which are before his throne, and from Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us, and washed us from our sins in his own blood, and hath made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. I, John, who also am your brother, and companion in tribulation, and in the kingdom and patience of Jesus Christ, was in the isle that is called Patmos. For the word of God and for the testimony of Jesus Christ, I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned I saw 7 golden candlesticks, And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword, and his countenance was as the sun shineth in his strength. And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead, and he laid his right hand upon me, saying unto me, Fear not, I am the first and the last. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive for evermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. Write the things which thou hast seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter. The mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches. Okay, so that's chapter 1 of Revelation. Again, it's like tons and tons of encoded or hidden messaging in there with regards to the ancient mystery schools. So I'm going to take the Cosby kids to the beach for the 3rd time this morning. I'll be right back. Death is with us. She's a hippie. Okay, feel free to talk amongst yourself while I go to the beach. I'll be right back. Okay, we're gonna read two more books: the Zohar and the Declaration of Independence. Here we go. Deeply unsatisfactory, and it is re-traumatizing. Chair Grunberg, I am so tired of white men failing up. This lack of accountability is a shameful, inadequate, and deeply unsatisfactory, and it is re-traumatizing. Chair Grunberg, I am so tired of white men failing up. This lack of accountability is a shameful, inadequate, and deeply unsatisfactory, and it is re-traumatizing. Chair Grunberg, I am so tired of white men failing up. This lack of accountability is a shameful, inadequate, and deeply unsatisfactory, and it is re-traumatizing. Chair Grunberg, I am so tired of white men failing up. This lack of accountability is a shameful, inadequate, and deeply unsatisfactory, and it is re-traumatizing. Chair Grunberg, I am so tired of white men failing up. This lack of accountability is a shameful, inadequate, and deeply unsatisfactory, and it is re-traumatizing. Chair Grunberg, I am so tired of white men failing up. This lack of accountability is a shameful, inadequate, and deeply unsatisfactory, and okay, this is Zohar. You're getting very, very sleepy. With every word that I say, you are falling into a deeper hypnotic trance of relaxation. Every word brings you to a state of deeper bliss and understanding and complete acceptance and relaxation. I'm a comedy hypnotist. I'm not an actual hypnotist. I'm a troll hypnotist. Okay, before we continue, let's just do a little bit of trolling to keep me happier. Who can we troll? Who is worthy of trolling? There's no... Oh, here we go.
Listen, words are words. Nothing more.
Adam, how are you in this one too? Douglas!
On principle,
I'm brown.
so on principle, I agree that words are just words. But
Okay,
I
but
also
Words are not just words. Look at the Bible. Look at the Gospel of St. John. It says that the Word was God. The Word is God.
Yes, thank you, Edmund. You have a wonderful.
Thank you, Edmund. Have a wonderful day, and they kick you out. Amazing how people don't actually want to.
Internet niggas don't stand for nothing. That's how they look at them, and they make the real good brothers look bad. Yes, they make the real brothers look bad. For real. But God here represents, like, they really think they're standing for something, but it's just.
Yeah, why the women keep coming in here saying the same thing? Oh, you pretty.
It ain't. It's white men that are failing up. It's the white men that are doing this. The white men are failing up and blaming it on all the black clown people.
Not
It ain't no fucking white man doing that shit. It's people doing it to their own fucking people. You can't blame them stupid motherfucking Neanderthals for shit. Them motherfuckers don't do what you let them. Yep. And you got these lay down big booty ass niggas that want to lay down up under a white zaddy. They want to follow a white man and suck his nuts instead of standing on their own fucking 2 feet. Yes. She's fucking for real and he is right. I'm sick of it.
Damn. What I'm trying to say is we need more peace, harmony, and love with one another if we want to individually succeed.
Yes, so we need war. We need to start shooting retarded niggas.
No, that's not true.
Any type of retarded nigga. White niggas too. You fucking retarded, you got to fucking go, bitch. Either get on a fucking train or get pushed the fuck off.
Oh no, you sounding like Hitler right now.
Damn, girl, fucking.
Listen,
A Negazzi, you a Negazzi.
People do suffer from mental illness. You know, it's definitely a real thing. It's one of the top things that we don't care about in America right now.
He's
We all
definitely
need some shit. You know, some people get out here to they say therapy.
And then even right now, people been killing each other since the beginning of time, but you got to know why. Shit.
Yeah. Like, but okay.
All communication is hypnosis.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Like, they come on here for therapy, but it's like, stand for something. Don't fucking be a bitch. Don't spread hate. Don't spread more fucking disrespect and disrespect.
Their reality be hell, so they get on
Yeah.
hate that shit. So
And they just trying to spread that shit, but we can't allow. Yo, we can't allow that shit to be spread no more. Like, fuck you. Hey, you're miserable. Go be fucking miserable by yourself, bitch. Period. Don't bring that shit over here. Good. If you can either fuck your shit in or go fuck away. We are moving the fuck forward. So if you want to stay in the back, stay in the back.
Hey, Edmund. John.
It's not getting hungry as fuck. No, I got a lot of respect for you. You actually still got a lot of girls fold to that nigga Anthony.
Nah, he's stupid. Ain't nobody gonna make me fold. Fuck him.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of girls sitting in the room and shit. Could they be scared of him?
I'm not scared of him.
Hey, both of them stood up though. I ain't gonna lie.
I know an idiot when I'm talking to one. Like, a person who cannot be moved mentally is an idiot. Like, you got no room to talk ever in life. You're fucking idiot. Like, I've been wrong many times in my life. And I'm okay with that. You know, like, he's the type who, like, he's gonna stomp his feet and go cry to his mom, like, they weren't listening to me about the definition of colors. Like, can you believe that? You know, like, he fucking jerking off somewhere with his fears. Somewhere. Right now. Like, that he is.
John.
Yeah.
Bro, that ain't that man real.
Hey, Edmund, can you do your song one time for the crowd one time?
Which one do you want to hear?
I got beans.
I got beans and bologna. Please come home now.
You know, bologna is one of those fucking, like, childhood trauma meals for me. I'm all set.
Please come home now.
Yo,
I got beans and bologna.
Listen, I was so poor growing up. Like, we have 11 kids in the house, and my dad worked at Walmart, and we did some projects. And I remember I made a bologna. I made a bologna sandwich, and there was a fucking roast leg on it.
Damn.
Like, we was really struggling when I was.
So what, you washed it off and you still ate it, right?
Yeah, because you got this.
Damn, you
no
went
food.
hard. I never did that.
We had no food. Like, that's
Hey, yo.
I grew up in the same type of environment.
Bro, I never did no shit like that, though.
yeah, we had the condensed milk in a can.
You had roaches in so you still ate them?
We had to.
Listen, I went hungry as fuck.
She said she rinsed off the bologna.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
I was like a kid, but like, I remember those times. Like, I was extremely poor growing up, and I knew I was poor because based on the way that, like, people would look at me and shit. Like, I knew I was like that poor kid with no fucking, like, nice clothes and nothing, like, and that shit made me, like, a little bit of a hustler. Like, so now in my adult life, when I got money and shit, and somebody tried to talk down on my character, like, I don't know what the fuck struggle is, like, you can suck my whole dick.
So what do you think? How did you personally rise up out of, this difficult situation?
He sounded like an interviewer.
Yo, honestly, education. Education was my escape. I read a lot of books. I would always surround myself with people who were doing better than me, who were better than me. I stayed around them because I didn't want to be with my friends that were doing the same dumb shit from our little ghetto ass hood. Like I was around the kids that were going somewhere else. They were better than me. And I stood there because I wanted to be the fourth one. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's how I came out of it. Like, I worked my fucking ass off. When I was in college, I worked 3 jobs and I was a full-time student. And I was still helping my dad pay bills at home. Like, and all these people be like, oh, we're going out to dinner. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I'm ramen noodles tonight. Like, you know, like I was that person. And now I don't have to live like that. So I don't want to answer to nobody that tells me I don't fucking know about a struggle, bro. Like, suck my whole thing. Like, bring it right back.
Do you think your education has stalled? Are you still educating yourself to increase the abundance and joy in your life?
Yes, I'm currently right now. So I'm a dentist. I have my PhD, and my DMD actually is what it's called. And I'm managing a bar right now while I'm in school to become an endodontist.
Amazing. So what you're trying to say is that you come here to do talk therapy with other clowns to help you as you rise to power and success.
No, none of that. Because right now I'm just on my bullshit, just like everybody else.
So
I'm
wait,
just on my bullshit.
do you believe that all communication is hypnosis?
Hello, when you're not on your bullshit, I need a dentist. Thank you.
What's going on, babe?
I'm not gonna lie, I have a pain in my freaking my teeth.
Which tooth?
What's it called? The molars? No,
Yeah,
not the molars.
back molars.
Yes. I would consider it to be teething. That's what I tell people because they're now starting to come up. Oh my god, they hurt so bad.
Okay, so tell me this: does the pain come and go?
Yes, it do.
It comes and goes. And do you have sensitivity to cold?
No, not all the time.
Okay, your tooth is going necrotic. It's dead.